Hi everyone, it's Peanut and welcome to my channel. Today we are here in San Francisco and we're going to go on a tour to the Alcatraz. That is the Alcatraz, and that is the Golden Gate Bridge over there. When I was in the Philippines, every time I hear about California, there are only two places that would come to my mind: Los Angeles and San Francisco. Many Filipinos have never been to the United States, know about Los Angeles because of Hollywood, and they know about San Francisco because of the Golden Gate Bridge. As a Filipino, I feel like I've never really been to California when I've never been to these two cities. Luckily, San Francisco is just 2.5 hours away from the city where we live. However, even though San Francisco is not that far from us, we don't always have the chance to visit the place, and whenever we can, we don't stay long because first, it's expensive to stay in the city, and second, traffic is terrible. But today in this video, I'm going to share with you our experience visiting San Francisco in 2 days. Our cousin from Iowa came to California, and we had to pick her up at San Francisco International Airport. So we decided to stay in the Bay Area for 2 nights before we drove back to our city and take her with us. So stay tuned and I will take you on a tour to the beautiful city of San Francisco and Alcatraz Island. Bobby and I left Yuba City at 1 in the afternoon. We drove to El Cerrito, California, a city near Berkeley, 15 miles from San Francisco and 25 miles from San Francisco International Airport. We arrived at El Cerrito at 3 in the afternoon, and we went straight to our Airbnb that my hubby booked more than a month before our trip. This Airbnb is hosted by Lily. She's a wonderful host and she's super nice. The place is a beautiful living room decorated with vintage items, travel books, and brochures. There is a flat screen TV and a sofa that can be converted into a full sofa bed. The kitchen is fully equipped so it's easy to cook your full meal. It has a fridge, a nice table, and a gas range. The bathroom is supplied with towels, toilet paper, soap, shampoo, conditioner, toothpaste, and other things that you need when taking a shower. The place is a laundry room with washer and dryer, detergent for basic laundry wash, an iron, and an ironing board. The apartment can comfortably accommodate 4 to 5 people, and each bedroom is a full king bed. The backyard is private with a bistro setup, lounge chairs, a hammock, and a barbecue gas grill. It's a perfect place to relax with a glass of wine, drink coffee or tea in the morning, or to just simply nap or read a good book. The place is quiet and is so easy to get around. The only challenge is finding a parking space, especially late at night. After we set our stuff away, we decided to go out for dinner before driving to San Francisco International Airport. We went to Pacific East Mall, which is only about 8 minutes from our Airbnb. We went to a restaurant called Pho Saigon too. Both hubby and I love Vietnamese food. I've been to Vietnam once and I really love Vietnamese dishes. We ordered chicken, fresh spring roll, and pho soup. The chicken was so crunchy and the spring roll was amazing, especially when dipped with a peanut sauce, and of course their pho was fantastic. We highly recommend this place when you have the chance to be in the area. After eating, we drove to the airport. This is the Oakland-San Francisco Bay Bridge, also called Bay Bridge, and it's divided into 2 sections that carries about 260,000 vehicles every day. The bridge spans across San Francisco Bay in California. The eastern section, which was opened in September 2, 2013, connects Yerba Buena Island and Oakland and carries both westbound and eastbound traffic. In 2014, Guinness World Records declared the eastern part of the bridge as the widest bridge in the world. The western part is a suspension bridge with 2 decks. The lower deck carries the eastbound traffic, while the upper deck carries the westbound traffic. The western part of the bridge links San Francisco downtown and Yerba Buena Island. was our first time in San Francisco airport, so we had difficulty finding a parking space and searching for the terminal where we were going to meet our cousin. We are here in San Francisco International Airport and we are going to pick up his cousin, Misty. Our cousin arrived at 9:30. We drove back to our Airbnb.
Is he still?
Traffic
He's
was
still with that
horrible, and
brand
because we don't always drive to San Francisco, we had difficulty going out of the city.
Is this right?
We missed our exit many times, and our GPS kept rerouting, which made the drive even worse and longer. At least I enjoyed the view of the city at night. Also, the San Francisco-Oakland Bay Bridge is even more stunning in the evening. It was just so foggy and you might not appreciate it on the video, but it's so pretty in person.
Okay, yeah, he probably did it.
The next day we drove back to San Francisco and we had to go through the Oakland-San Francisco Bay Bridge again. The view of San Francisco and the bay from the bridge is spectacular. I will never get tired of looking at the city from the bridge.
Yeah, she was the sweetest lady. I really liked her. So this pier is going down.
We were going on a tour to Alcatraz Island today, but we still had time to walk around, so we had to park our car. Luckily, we were able to find a parking garage. Even though we did not have a reservation, we quickly found a parking space at 55 Francisco Parking Garage. The parking garage is only 5 minutes walk from Pier 33, where we were going to board the ferry boat to Alcatraz Island. If you are planning to go to San Francisco and you need a place to park your car, I'm going to include the link below so you can find more information about 55 Francisco Parking Garage, which is the ideal place for you to park your car if you want to visit the piers and walk around the bay shore. Our Alcatraz tour was at 5 and we didn't have to be at Pier 33 until 45 minutes before our scheduled trip, so we took a walk around. We visited Pier 39 and bought some stuff. The breeze was so cool and it's very relaxing. There are so many things to do in the area and there are many rides to take, like the San Francisco bus tour, the bicycle tour, Mooney bus and train, and many others. Or you can just simply take a walk along the bay shore and enjoy the beautiful views of the area, especially the view of the Golden Gate Bridge and the Oakland-San Francisco Bay Bridge, and of course, the Alcatraz Island. After enjoying a nice walk, we went to Crab House Restaurant, which is Pier 39, to have our early dinner before we went on our Alcatraz tour. We ordered a whole crab, garlic fries, crab chowder, seafood pasta, and crab cake, which are all super amazing. But for cheap people like us, they're quite expensive. However, we don't always get to enjoy such food, so that was okay, and we all deserved it. Besides, the overall dining experience was fantastic, because aside from we had very nice and friendly waiters and servers, we got to enjoy a wonderful view of the Golden Gate Bridge and the bay while we were eating. After that delicious dinner, we walked to Pier 33 to wait for our scheduled trip to Alcatraz Island. We waited for an hour before we finally called to start boarding. There were many people visiting the Alcatraz that day, which, according to the Alcatraz tour website, is normal for summertime. That's why it's a must to book a ticket at least 3 months before your planned tour because tickets sell out very quickly. We booked the Alcatraz night tour, which is $59 per adult. The ticket price for children is $38 and $55.40 for seniors.
Here are a few important rules that we ask you to follow throughout your experience.
Here are some of the other things that you need to remember before going on the Alcatraz tour. All visitors must wear a proper face covering while in the boarding queue at Pier 33 Alcatraz Landing and while aboard Alcatraz City Cruises ferries. Wearing a mask is also required while on the island. Alcatraz City Cruises is not responsible for tickets obtained from unauthorized sources which may not be valid. All sales are final, non-refundable and non-transferable 72 hours prior to departure. All passengers 5 years of age and above are required to have a ticket to gain entry to the ferry. If you would like to pick up your tickets at the Alcatraz City Cruises ticket booth, you must show your confirmation number and valid photo identification. You must arrive at least 45 minutes prior to your scheduled departure. Alcatraz City Cruises will sail rain or shine. They do not compensate for late arrivals, missed ferries, or no-shows. There is no parking at Pier 33 and they do not validate parking. That is why it's necessary to find a parking space before you go on a tour. You can check the link on the description below for the parking information. Weapons of any kind are not allowed at Pier 33 Alcatraz Landing, on Alcatraz City Cruises vessels, or on Alcatraz Island. The maximum acceptable size for a backpack is 16 inches by 20 inches. All passengers and carry-on items are subject to search at any time for security purposes. The view of the city from the ferry boat while we were on the trip to the island was magnificent. Although it started to fog up, I could still appreciate a spectacular view of the buildings and the entire place. Because it was summer, I did not expect that the weather could be so cold in San Francisco. It was 40 degrees Fahrenheit while we were there, and because I wasn't used to cold weather, I was freezing a little bit. Luckily, I brought my hoodie with me. My hands were shaking and it was quite hard to take photos and videos as you can see here. The trip to the island took about 15 minutes. Finally, we arrived on the island and it was a dream come true for me. It was our first time and we were all so excited.
Thank you so much for joining us tonight. We'll have you with your group in a few minutes. If you have any questions for me, I will be the person taking them.
Upon leaving the ferry boat and walking into the island, there was a group orientation where they explained a little bit of the history of the island and the do's and don'ts while visiting the island.
Did anybody know what this red writing above me is all about?
That's what I was wondering.
Good. Someone was curious about it. I'm hopeful you would be, because that should look kind of odd in a national park setting, right? I mean, you agree, right? He's a ranger. Grace is Jeff. It kind of looks kind of odd because it's who writes that? Who painted that? Well, I'll tell you, this was just painted again in 2019. Because this top 3 floors, that's where the prison guards live. So the correctional officers and their wives and their children lived here.
After that, we started to climb up the hill to go inside the main prison building, which according to the tour guide was like climbing a 13th floor building. According to Wikipedia, the Alcatraz Island was developed in the mid-19th century with facilities for a lighthouse, a military fortification, and a military prison. In 1934, the island was converted into federal prison, Alcatraz Federal Penitentiary. The storm currents around the island and cold water temperatures made escape nearly impossible, and the prison became one of the most notorious in American history. The prison closed in 1963, and the island is now a major tourist attraction. Some work. where the prisoners used to shower. Upon getting inside the building, we were each given a small gadget similar to a mobile phone, which we used for the audio tour. The Cell House audio tour is available in Dutch, English, French, German, Italian, Japanese, Korean, Mandarin, Portuguese, Russian, and Spanish. Because of the COVID-19, we were not provided with earphones, so we had to put the gadget on our ears to listen to the narration while we were walking through the different areas of the old main prison. Let's take a look at the prison cells in the different areas inside the main prison building.
These are.
I would like to see what a foxglove looks like.
It's from the official records. That's pretty cool.
After the audio tour, we still had a chance to see other areas of the island. However, some areas are closed and entry is restricted. And because it was windy and I was freezing, we decided to go back to the waiting area to wait for the ferry boat that would take us back to Pier 33. We boarded at 8:45 in the evening and left the island at 9. That concluded our Alcatraz Island night tour. Before we drove back home the next day, we decided to drive back home to San Francisco and go to the Golden Gate Bridge because our cousin has not seen the bridge up close yet. We drove through the city and crossed the Golden Gate Bridge. The Golden Gate Bridge, the most famous bridge in the world, is a suspension bridge spanning the Golden Gate, the 1-mile wide or 1.6 kilometers straight that connects San Francisco Bay and the Pacific Ocean. The bridge connects San Francisco, California to Marin County. Joseph Strauss initially designed the Golden Gate Bridge in 1917. The American Society of Civil Engineers declared the Golden Gate Bridge As one of the wonders of the modern world, it has been one of the most internationally recognized symbols of San Francisco and the state of California. We stopped at the H. Dana Bowers Rest Area and Vista Point to where we could see a panoramic view of the city of San Francisco and the Bay Area, including the San Francisco-Oakland Bay Bridge and of course the Golden Gate Bridge. San Francisco is undeniably one of the most beautiful places on earth. There are a lot of things to do and hundreds of places to visit. A 2-day visit is not enough, and although our stay in San Francisco was short, the experience was truly amazing, and it's worth remembering. Although many of my friends cannot believe that I'm living here in California, I can now proudly say that I'm really here in this beautiful state because I've got to see San Francisco and I've proof that I've stayed in this very popular tourist destination. I hope that you enjoyed watching this video, and if you haven't been to San Francisco yet, I hope that my experience serves as an inspiration and it gives you ideas whenever you plan on visiting the magnificent city of San Francisco. Thank you very much for staying with me, and I will see you again on my next videos. Please don't forget to subscribe. Until next time.
Oh yeah, I watched it from the beginning. But I was watching this last season on the main floor,